Welcome to the Global Climate Change Report for July 22nd. I'm Ashley Dion, and these are some of the top climate change stories for the week. Reuters reported on July 18th that a major U.S. business group said human activity is changing the Earth's climate and urged Washington to take action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions nationwide. The Business Roundtable, representing 160 of the largest U.S. companies with $4.5 trillion in combined revenue, stopped short of advocating a specific policy, saying its members did not yet agree on methods. Charles Holliday, chairman and CEO of DuPont Chemicals Group and a roundtable member, said, quote, "The thinking of U.S. CEOs on climate change is evolving significantly. A growing number of CEOs view it as a major issue for their companies." End quote. The Los Angeles Times reported on July 18th that rapidly rising carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are driving noxious poison ivy and dandelions to grow taller, lusher, and more resilient. According to a study published in the journal Weed Science, poison ivy growing in laboratories at present carbon dioxide conditions swelled to twice the size of samples grown under 1950s conditions. In an unrelated experiment, dandelions in carbon dioxide conditions elevated to the projected 2100 levels produced 32% more seed-carrying fruit. Jeff Dukes, an ecologist at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, said, quote, "These papers suggest many weedy species are going to respond strongly to elevated carbon dioxide." End quote. Dukes was not involved in the studies. The Associated Press reported on July 19th that the U.S. could see a significant drop in greenhouse gas emissions by the middle of the century if motorists use rechargeable plug-in hybrid electric vehicles in large numbers. Researchers estimated that with a market share of about 60% or more, plug-in vehicles could help reduce greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 450 million metric tons a year by 2050. That's the equivalent of removing 82 million passenger cars, or about one-third of the cars currently on the road. The study was conducted by the nonprofit research group Electric Power Research Institute and the Natural Resources Defense Council, an environmental group. The Christian Science Monitor reported on July 19th that renewed interest in nuclear energy has risen as concern about global warming has swelled in recent years. Nuclear plants produce no carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases tied to climate change, at least not directly. And advocates say that new reactor designs make plants safer than those operating in the days of the accidents at Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island decades ago. But that was before operators found more than 50 problems at a nuclear reactor following an earthquake in Japan last week, and concerns grew about the safety of Germany's 17 reactors after a fire on June 28th. The Washington Post reported on July 20th that climate change has already begun to alter the Chesapeake Bay, warming and raising its waters in ways that could unbalance delicate ecosystems and doom low-lying islands. A study from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation cited scientific research from around the bay and sketched a prognosis that was troubling even by Chesapeake standards, a beautiful but polluted estuary that environmentalists have spent decades trying to save. The report found that some of the bay's oldest problems, such as low oxygen dead zones, could get worse as the bay's water slowly warms. The study also found that new problems are cropping up as key plants and animal species show signs that they're uncomfortably warm. Foundation President William C. Baker said, quote, "We know that the bay is in trouble today, and we know that climate change will make the bay worse in the future." End quote.